The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Hot, bold, sweet, smooth, and always flavorful. Welcome to my morning coffee. 3 generations of successful women, brewed with black girl magic, and French press with class, sass, and style. Gia, Tanya, and Sarita are my morning coffee.
Welcome back. Happy Monday and welcome to another amazing edition of My Morning Coffee, where the conversation is always hot, bold, and full of flavor. I'm here with the amazing Gia Neal.
Hey y'all. How
Miss
y'all doing?
Miss Sarita Butler.
What up, what up?
And Tanya McKenzie. So let's go ahead and get right into it because we have a lot to talk about. There's a lot that's been going on since last we've seen you. Amazing people, and we have a pretty dope guest coming up too. So, Sarita, why don't you let us know what's in your cup, what you've been up to, and what's going on with you.
Okay, so G is going to get me, but I have contraband today. I forgot my morning coffee mug, but this is my acai smoothie that I love with extra granola. Hey. So it's in my cup.
Stay regular.
I really do my best. It's sometimes, it's a process. Anyway, it is. Are you that I have contraband?
About your contraband.
I'm sorry.
I'm not on about you staying regular.
I appreciate it.
Regular.
You're right, because it makes me really
keeps your mood right.
It keeps the mood right. So it has been quite a couple weeks since we last met. I know that I was a little down last time we met because we had just found out that Kobe had passed away. So I was really sad, and I was in a lot of a funk for a lot of a time. Yes. And I went to public school and private school. And that's the way in which I speak, with degrees. So let's see. I know that we're probably going to talk about the Oscars.
Yes.
But I won't be able to be a part of that conversation because I didn't watch them yesterday. And not because I didn't want to, but we had a bit of a snafu with the DVR. Someone thought that they had recorded it. However, they didn't. And so by the time we wanted to, fast forward through the commercials, and there were no commercials to fast forward through. So that was that. So I have no idea who won anything, except for Laura Dern. And that's only because I was in Whole Foods when she won. So I wanted to, since it is Black History Month, which is something we'll also be talking about, just wanted to speak about today in Black History. The SCLC, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, was created, which was huge in the civil rights movement. And they created and had money for people who were in the movement when they got arrested and things like that. So it was a huge movement that Dr. King was a part of. I'm sure we'll talk about, let's see. Something that also, as a Black History moment, I got my results from African Ancestry.
What?
Uh-oh. You're not Black?
So,
oh, my bad.
So, thank you, Dr. Gina Page, with African Ancestry. And I got my results. And so I brought them because I wanted to show everyone, this being just like a special shout out to Dr. Gina Marie. But this gives me a whole little thing about where you're at and things. And she told me or found out that I am a part of the Takar people of Cameroon. And they are most notably known for the artistry of the continent. So they're the artists, they're the mask makers, they're the storytellers of the continent. So that kind of fit. Quincy Jones is a part of the Takar tribe. Condoleezza Rice, Raphael Sadiq. So music is something that we're really big on. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah, and that was only from my mom's lineage. Okay. So I'm going to get it done for my father's lineage as well. And then just a bit of a PSA. I know I'm taking a little bit of time, but I wanted to fit it all in. I wanted to address that sometimes, and I've had to realize that I seem to look a little disconnected at times. And there's two things. Sometimes I don't know what camera I'm supposed to look at, so it's my wonky eye. But also it's me attempting to keep track of time and if we have callers and things. So if I ever look disengaged, I apologize to the viewers because that is never my intent. It's that I have a lot going on in this small little afro. But my brain is really big and it holds a lot. So,
by the way, your afro is kind of cute.
That was a nice segue, wasn't it?
Yeah, that afro is popping. Greta Cruz is popping over there. I'm feeling that little afro. I need the info on that because that's shout it out to Aaron Thornton, my stylist extraordinaire. Look, you bounce back all good. Look at 2020 already looking good for you, girl. Got that hair
nice and fluff. Nice fluff and health.
Yeah.
So I did want to say that. So beautiful. I'm good.
We see you.
You know, we all got a lot of stuff happening and going on. Mm-hmm. So wanting to make sure if you see me, it's my wonky eye. Don't think that I'm mad. Or maybe I am mad and it's just having a moment.
Oh my God.
That is my check-in. How about you?
So what's going on, Miss Gia? What's in your cup? What's going on with you?
Girl, let me see. Not much.
Lies. I can't even keep up with you.
No, just working. Since last time we met, I've just been in the studio getting a few things together. Mm-hmm. I'm always trying to create something new for the peoples. Yeah. I did a pop-up this past weekend at the Baldwin Hills Mall, the Melon Market. That was pretty cool, so I did that. Had a good time being out there amongst the people.
When can people that want to come to see what you have to offer, where can they find you? Because you have all these pop-up shops, but, if I want to go buy something from one of Gia's shops, how do I keep track of that?
Well, Gia's shop is technically Gia's home and her work studio. I don't have a brick and mortar just yet.
But you be out and about.
But I be out and about, popping up. I try to, find events that I think that are in the community that I like, that I try to pop up. So whenever I'm popping up, I try to post where I'm going to be. So you have to follow me on social media to see where I'm popping up at. So, follow the Mahogany Box on Facebook and Instagram, and you can find out where I'm popping up. But if you want something, you can always contact me directly. You can, as y'all say, slide in my DM. Oh. And I like when that sounds, slide in my DM.
Okay.
Because y'all told me
you're going to get the wrong slid in the slide.
Well, you said I couldn't say I am because it's really instant messenger on Facebook, but y'all said that was like our old school. Y'all was trying to say I was old, so I'm trying to get up on.
You about to get somebody to slid in your slide, and Jeff is going to have to come after some people.
Everybody know me. They ain't sliding up in here. They know they not ready for this.
No, you right. You right.
But they can find me that way. They can always DM me if they want something. And I do custom things. But I just been creating and, working. I was driving home the other day and I was just saying how, don't get me wrong, I love my number one job. I've been doing it for 30 years. But I find it's getting in the way of my number two job.
I see.
Yeah, so...
But I will tell you, I wanted to report back and let you know that Officer Naylor did say he has a medal for you.
Oh, he hasn't. When can I come?
Wait, is it the coin or is it a...
Yes. He has a challenge coin for Miss Gia.
I love it. See, shout out to Redondo Beach PD. Yeah, see, Redondo Beach and LASD together. I like that. So, I'm coming to get my coin. Stop playing. Matter of fact, we're going to have a drink, too.
Oh, yeah. I think you'll enjoy that.
Yeah, wait, so what is your shirt looking like? This is a
little something.
Just a little something.
Power to the people.
Right.
With the Africa in there and stuff.
It's beautiful.
You might not even be from Africa.
I am Black History. Really? You
get your test done.
Black History 360.
Look, I got my test done, and I'm also from the Cameroon area too, so we might be related, Sarita.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so.
And that fits you completely. The artistry, yeah.
Yeah, so that's all I've really been doing is just working, and I need some rest though. I think I'm overtaxing myself, so you be
on the go.
Yeah, I'm on the go. But other than that, what about you? What have you been up to?
Well, a little bit of a lot. We are still kind of regrouping from the MLK event. So, Black History Month. I'm Black History Month. 365 days a year. And anybody that missed that event, definitely make sure you check out my social media, Sand and Shores, on IG, Facebook, or just the website, because we are still taking donations for the scholarship. That's important and it's huge for us because I have been working with the Rise Williams Foundation for a while, and every year we give out the scholarships, and every other organization is there to give out those scholarships. So the fire department and ROTCs and all the community organizations. This is the first year that the police department will have a seat at that table. So it means a lot that we now have a scholarship for a student that comes from Redondo Union specifically for in the name of Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
Dr. Goody Goodlow is also going to be helping to make sure that those standards are pretty high because he's from the MLK Foundation. So just make sure if if it's still something that you might want to participate, you couldn't have made it to the event or forgot to get your badge that day, you can still donate. And it's whatever you feel like giving because of a student that is civic minded and engaged and really trying to contribute in a way that is very representative of MLK. So we're still kind of on that high.
And how does someone contribute?
You can go to the Redondo Beach Police Foundation page or just check my social media. I continue to post it. And I probably will continue until we actually give out the scholarship, just because it's such a huge opportunity for a student that clearly would not have had it before, right? They would have been competing in a different category for something that might not have been as fitting. So it's definitely something that we want to continue to highlight and support and get those kids out there doing more things that involve civic engagement, equity in their community. So, continue to check the social media, donate. Redondo Beach Police Foundation. And, on the note, when you donate, let them know what it's for. It's for the scholarship for these awesome kids out here in this community. And possibly we could give out multiple scholarships based on what the giving looks like. So we're still on that high. It's still a good time to celebrate in Beach City. So make sure y'all get out there, take your pictures on the new bench. Send them to me. We would love to post them because it is definitely something that has garnered a lot of attention for the community. Super excited about that still. I am so excited about Black History Month because it's more so fitting now than ever before. We just celebrated the life of my uncle, James Watts. He is actually the last uncle of our family. And that's important. I kind of live my own Black history.
This was your grandfather's brother,
right?
Yeah,
through the Watts family. There was 17 brothers and sisters in Mississippi. 17, same mama, same daddy. And all of them managed to...
Can we just take a moment of silence for her uterus? Can we?
Man, Miss Molly, my great-grandmother, was an amazing woman. Oof. And these siblings have continued over the years not only to lift each other up, but they supported each other's kids. And my uncle, James, we call him Irk, that passed, he was an amazing stand-in, meaning the ones that couldn't be there anymore, he was that one that stood in for my Uncle Joe or for me after my grandfather passed or, any of the other cousins. So we just came back from the Bay Area and buried him. But it was definitely a celebration in what can be accomplished when people stick together, when they have a common goal, when they help each other. And when they just work together to make sure that everybody in their collective is successful.
How old was he?
60-something.
Okay.
Yeah, you said some key things. Work together.
Work together.
That's That's major.
Yeah, and it was our first time actually having an event with not one auntie or uncle there. So it was literally just
the
cousins.
cousins.
And,
okay.
It was crazy because they were taking like a first cousin's picture. I'm like a second cousin. But I was in the picture and my cousin said, well, you know, you're not a first cousin. And my cousin Brenda was like, well, she's a stand-in. So I'm kind of standing in for my mom. And that kind of hit me in a way that was pretty impactful. So not only standing in for her, but on more than one occasion, I feel like I'm standing in for my grandfather and for her, because leadership and legacy is something that people don't really grasp, right? We are held accountable to be in leadership positions that maybe our parents or grandparents were in. But I recognized also that not everybody is meant for a leadership position.
No,
not everybody is meant to carry on a legacy in the way that their predecessor would have. And it took me a minute to realize that some of us are standing in positions because that's what we are meant to do. Right. Not everybody holds those qualities that would allow progression in their family or even in their job or in their community. There's definitely something about individuals that are able to carry on a legacy or step into a leadership position. So I think I'm actually going to vlog about that and on my page later today, because it hit me in a way that was just profound. So I stopped feeling like, you know, there's times you'd be like, she couldn't possibly be his child because she just stupid.
You're so profound. You know what?
But the truth is, but the truth is, there's times that we've all looked around and been like, he couldn't have possibly come from that man. Or, how could those have been his parents with the kind of decisions that they make? And the truth is, everybody's not equipped to carry the crown.
And we need them too. I think
everybody
need
has a role,
and everyone has a role.
Everybody has a role, but at that moment, I think I stopped being so irritated at those that have not picked up.
It's no longer a pet peeve,
right? That have not picked up the mat and ran with it,
right?
But it was just a moment. But it was good to be around the cousins and. It was so drama-free, and it was just
That's
celebratory.
Always good, because I know you were worried. We talked a little bit briefly before you left, and I know you were kind of, concerned. But I'm glad it turned out.
I almost had to take Miss Gia with me, but
it turned out. Well, I was ready.
I know, that was good. But all praise go to those fathers, grandfathers, aunties, uncles, mamas that have been holding it down and carrying on the legacy for generation after generation. So that was pretty monumental. Lastly, I have joined the board of the Black Public Relations Society LA.
I saw that.
Congrats.
Thank you. Yes. And we are going to be doing some pretty dynamic things this year. We're already working with Sony and a few other people on a seat at the table, talking about us having a seat at the table, and some pretty dynamic programming for men in PR. And my job is programs and professional development. So I just want to make sure that there's an angle where we are teaching and everybody is leaving each of our events with some great takeaways.
Yes.
Some great nuggets from professors, from other amazing people in this business that help move the magnet. So definitely stay posted, PR Biz Mom, on all my socials or Sandin Shores. And we are going to come back real shortly with an amazing guest. I'm super excited to be bringing him on. I was actually on his wife's show not too long ago. And I'm not going to say much more. We'll be back. Stay with us. right, guys. Thank you for coming back and joining us on My Morning Coffee. As you can see, we have an awesome guest with us. His name is Ty. I'm going to let him introduce himself and let everybody out there know who he is and what he does and why he's here.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ty Brownlow. I am a host of my own talk show and podcast called Word with Ty Brownlow. And basically, I take the motto, no one is worthless, no story is worthless. And I bring it to life.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what the show is in a nutshell. But to dig a little bit deeper,
is your voice always like this on the talk show?
Yes.
Is it,
Well, before you dig deeper, another reason why you're on here, Ty, because Ty is our fraternity brother. Ty is a member of Phi Beta Sigma.
Fraternity Incorporated.
And before I say anything, shout out to EX, Epsilon Chi, Illinois State, LE, which is the Zeta Phi Beta sorority, chapter on campus. So I will be wrong if I didn't shout y'all out, because I know y'all gonna be like, man, how come you ain't shout us out?
So that's Chicago.
That's Chicago, Chi-Town.
Yes. Well, it's Bloomington Normal, Illinois. Yeah. I call it something else. But, yes.
Okay.
That's on the campus of Illinois State University.
Are you from Chicago?
I am born and raised in Chicago.
Yes. Okay. How'd you get here?
How did I get to L.A.? I got to L.A. Through my beautiful wife.
Hey.
Shout out.
Shout out to my beautiful wife, Chundria Brownlow.
Give her a plug, too.
The Chundria Show in 105 cities. Check it out. Doing big things over here, Team Brownlow.
Absolutely.
That's right, all day. Gang.
All day. Man, stop playing.
Teamwork make the dream work.
Were we just talking about that?
And basically, if it wasn't for her, I would not be here.
Okay.
And we got married. It'll be 2 years in June.
Congrats.
Okay.
And there wasn't any type of convincing, do you want to come to Chicago or do you want to come to L.A.? I was coming to L.A.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't, I don't even think we had that conversation. That wasn't even part of the conversation. It was just already written. Oh,
this is what we're doing.
Right.
I'll be there. So
right.
You don't have to worry about this because I'm not shoveling snow or 29-degree weather.
Or
and that's
wind
the high.
chill. Or the wind chill.
Right, when the wind chill is like negative 30.
So your wife brought you to our beautiful city.
Yes, it's because of her.
Is she also from Chicago?
She is also from Chicago, but
Okay.
she's been here 6 years. So she's been loving, she's been cooling in Cali for 6 years. So
he already in
Cooling in
Cali.
Cali.
Cooling in Cali. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, see, he already about it.
Yeah. I love the culture.
Right.
So she already has the lay of the land in LA for the most part. And even being here that long, I'm sure there's still some things she's learning. What has caught you off guard about Los Angeles?
Seriously, what has caught me off guard about LA has been the homelessness. Man, I'm just going to keep it real. I know it's an issue and I know things happen, but to see it in such magnitude, it's a little you're like, whoa.
Do you think it's that way because coming from Chicago, most people that are not from here, they think they have a perception of LA, Hollywood, everything's bright lights, everything is this bomb diggity, and then you get here and you realize, wow, it's some of the same things that's happening in my community is here. Is that kind of why you feel that way? Is your perception was a little bit different?
So, to your point, I did a segment on my show called Hollywood Hustle, Myth versus Reality. And I interviewed people who were not from here, but the transplants like myself, and I took what they thought LA would be in their head versus what it was when they got here.
Okay.
And just from my own aspect, in my mind, man, look, I'm hip-hop all day, 90s hip-hop, 80s hip-hop, I remember when hip-hop, some of the first artists I ever heard come from the West Coast.
Okay.
It was called rap. It wasn't even called hip hop.
Right,
it was rap.
right. Let's keep it real.
So,
rap.
Let's just keep it real. You're from the Bay Area.
Yes.
I could
Go
and
on
bakes
forever.
too short, all that all day. I can come on, man, stop playing. But so in my mind, I'm like, well, yeah, they're out there, man, getting this money, videos all day, it's a party,
mansions, yeah, right, yeah,
it's this, it's that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
low riders, yeah, everybody got nice cars,
it's a party every day. I'm like, man, I have none of that going outside. It's like robbery going on. It's crime. It's just like crime.
Yeah.
But I get here and it's no different. To speed up things a little bit, I work in education. I've been in education over 15 years. And some of the stuff I've seen in Chicago, I'm like, man, I don't think anybody's experiencing this.
I can't wait to get to LA to get a break from.
Because in my head, okay, well, there's a lot of universities, man, there's a lot of like astute people, like, man,
on it.
They're smart, they're this, they're that,
they're beautiful, they're
because
great.
it's the perception.
The perception.
Yes.
The Beverly Hills, the Hollywood.
Skinny
That's
with
just
the
what
skin.
everyone's a vegan.
Y'all on the beach running in the morning. Yeah.
It's Baywatch. You know what I'm saying? Slow motion. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I want some of that Baywatch.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't no Baywatch going on out here. But you get here and you're like, okay, like, it's funny.
Roll
she
cameras.
knows where I work at the school. The school that I work at, the kids that I talk to are in the same positions that some of the kids that I left in Chicago, if not worse.
And what is your role there?
A teacher.
Okay.
Basically, I teach English, social studies, some of everything. But I mean, it's more than just being a teacher. You know, you have to be a counselor,
a parent.
I have to be a parent. I'm a parent of a 17-year-old in
sometimes
Chicago.
you parenting parents.
Right.
Many times.
Many times. So to that point, to that aspect, like a lot of these, especially young men that I have to like counsel, I think about my son. And, my son is 3,000 miles away. So I have to like take that into consideration. I have to make sure that he's okay because I know some of the things that he has to go through, even though it's not the same things that the kids here have to go through. It's still some of the same internal struggle.
Absolutely.
Let me go back to your hip hop. You were talking about hip hop and the bright lights and Baywatch. Does it add a level of connection with you, though, when you realize that some of the things that these glamorous California rappers are rapping about is actually more or as real as their lyrics? Because I think a lot of people think, they just rapping that game.
They're just making that up.
They ain't really living that life. And you come out here and you realize
that life is still real, just with a little bit of sunshine.
Still real.
And okay, so I say this all the time to all my friends who come out here, and I meet up with them and I talk to them.
They don't stay, do they?
No.
They go back to wherever they are from.
They
because we don't need any. I mean, you slipped right in,
Hey,
but the way traffic is set up and the way cost of living is set up,
I won't even talk about traffic.
We don't really need
going towards Hollywood.
Just saying,
that's just insane. Okay. Like no one has to live that life. Why do people live that life?
Right.
I was going to tell you guys, there's studios in, the South Bay and, Culver City and other Torrent. No, we got to do Hollywood.
Urban friendly.
Urban friendly.
For those people who know what I mean,
they're just getting there.
Urban friendly.
Yeah. We have Tanya on the front lines making them more urban friendly.
We're working on one city at least.
I do what I can.
I'm not going to lie. I've been out to your neck of the woods, and that beach out there.
Baywatch? No, we got homeless too.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
Okay, but you know
on the
what?
Beach.
They're not on that side of the beach.
Right,
Where I was, it was.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a mountain.
Yeah.
Let me get my mental right.
Exactly, because it's funny you say that because whenever she's posting pictures of her working out, it's always a nice backdrop. I'm like, I'm like, where is that at?
I know which side of the beach you're on. You're on this particular side of the beach.
They're calling you out right now.
Look, trust me, I've been there.
Yeah, so I think she might be part of Baywatch. I'm just saying.
So I'm going to go ahead and go live next time from one of those homeless coalition meetings that we have that make people lose their minds absolutely in the South Bay.
But as you can see, you're right. Homelessness is major here in Los Angeles. Yeah.
What else? What else surprised you about LA?
Really, this goes into what I do as well, part of my show. Like the youth that I work with, just their mentality.
And I also, because I have some familiarity with where you work, it's fascinating to me when I used to do work there as well. the amount of young men of color that are there that don't necessarily have, let's say, like developmental delays or something that would traditionally be a part of that school, but because they may have had a behavioral problem or because they didn't listen to the teacher, they are being funneled into these secondary schools and treated as though they are, you know, they have learning disabilities and they don't. It's that their behavior, and it's not necessarily even their behavior has been bad. It's that the teacher or the administration doesn't have the patience or the tolerance or the tools for their black skin, and so they shuffle them they shuffle them into these schools that are that should be housing people and children that really have developmental delays, and they just get shuffled into this fold unnecessarily.
Well, to just break it down for all my people, I'm just going to break it down what she said. Basically, man, they're hiding behind these forms and they're just labeling these kids as this. They're getting these kids in here for this money. They're not really helping them because there's no policy to help them. And since there's no policy to help them, then it's like the Wild West. I can do whatever I want. I can teach however I want. If this person doesn't develop to the way that they need to develop, oh well, you know, we are still going to send them through, and then in the end, send them out into society, and it's a free for all if they make it that far.
Right, and then that's when I get them when they come back to society.
Right.
So
no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Can I just say this? I do watch the show. All right, so I know what it is that you do. I know what it is that you do. Superwoman over here. So. Yeah, to sit up here to, you know, talk to you all, like I have a familiar, like, instinct on what it is that goes on the show. So that's why I feel like me talking about this isn't like so
perfect.
It's not taboo or outlandish.
But we need to have this conversation more, and we need to advocate for programs to help, because it starts when we're young. And then it manifests as we get older if we don't do anything about it. So we do need to have more discussions about behavioral issues and mental health, because some of it does stem from, mental illness, but a lot of it is behavioral too. And they sometimes they
lump it all together.
So when just what she said and how we need to be a part of the change, when you spoke on policy, what can teachers do, or what can you do, or what can community members like us do to help enact change or help enact policy change that will fix some of this funneling our kids into
the school to prison pipeline that's happening?
So talk to me about policy, or what you know about it, and how the people in your community could actually be a participant in that.
Well, if we're going to keep it real about policy, let's just keep it really real about 100. Policy. Most schools don't want to implement policy because they're afraid of the money that will stop coming in. Period. You know that to be true.
Absolutely.
So their policy may be weak. Their policy may be more hindering towards the staff than it is the actual student. So that's why you see these articles all the time about, well, man, we need more black men in education. Well, you'll get black men in education, but you won't keep them because you have these incidents. Oh, well, he looked at me funny, or, he told me to go the other way, or
he was bullying
whatever.
Me.
He was bullying me. There's a situation going on in Chicago right now, I can tell you, at Curie High School. And for those people that are watching this, that's from Chicago, y'all know what I'm saying. Mr. Oliver, he was a security guard. He became the basketball coach, took Curie from a low-end school to a basketball powerhouse. All right. So he's well respected. He's a alumni of the school. All right. So this isn't just.
So he's coming back to where he
knows the school. He knows
born and bred and
right. Yeah.
So that was an incident, a alleged incident where a kid made up something that, the Mr. Oliver interacted with him in a wrong way, and basically, now Mr. Oliver is out of this position, or he's fighting for his job. Now, that puts like the spiral effect into everything else, because you have to think about the kids that he's coaching. Right. Now, those kids have scholarships.
Yep.
What about the seniors? You know, like they're trying to get to the next level. You're a mom. You have kids that play baseball, right?
Yep.
You're trying to get them to the next level.
To the next level.
Man, so think about
this one kid
that's trying to get
placed
to the
everybody's future in jeopardy.
Yeah.
So
because of lack of decent policies.
Decent policy and lack of supervision.
Yes.
Period.
And lack of keeping stuff real. See, the problem is people don't want to keep it real. Sometimes their kids is bad, okay, and we know they're bad, but they want to act like their kids is good. So don't let me get started on that because, you know,
for all my educators
I
out
say
here,
get started on it, Gia.
No, seriously.
Now, get started.
For all my educators out here, y'all know this to be true. Bad kids don't miss school.
Ooh.
Right.
They don't.
They at school every day.
What else are they going to do?
Oh.
You never
what else do they do?
Right.
Bad kids don't miss school.
Yep. Right.
So they getting awards for perfect attendance?
No, those are the ones that
No, they don't get awards for perfect attendance because just because they're at the school doesn't mean they're at the school.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right. There are other things that goes.
Yeah.
I guess you're right. I mean, I ain't got no kids.
So look, listen. That's why I do my show, Word with Ty Brownlow, to be a listening ear to those who have no one to listen to them. All right. Basically, those people who have gone through tragedy, they turn that tragedy into triumph. Man, they can be a bridge for someone else who's going through the same thing.
What is one of the most impactful stories that was on your show?
I just had a story on my podcast. I just started a podcast.
Ah, fancy.
Okay. So I have a talk show and a podcast to reach everyone outside of LA, because everyone's like, well, man, I don't live in LA. I can't come be on your show. So I started a podcast for you all. I just had a young lady. I'll just shout her out. Erin Joy Carmack. She was just on my podcast. She's a domestic violence survivor. And her story was very compelling. And I asked her what was her endpoint. Like, at what point did she know that this was okay? Like, at what point did you realize that this was going on? And at what point did you realize, okay, this is the end? Like, I'm done. And just her story, how it got started, where it got started. And there's a lot of things that we in the Black community do not talk about when it comes to things that we've been raised to do, as like go to church and things of that nature. There's a lot of things that we don't talk about. And we
use that as a shield for all kind of tomfoolery and shenanigans that happen in those places we're supposed to be protected, not just church, but any other places. And they become hiding places for tomfoolery and shenanigans. And because we don't do well with being vocal, because we're so afraid that we're not going to be heard, we're not going to be understood.
I don't think it's that we're afraid. I'm going to use the word, I think we're more ashamed. I think that's why we don't speak up. It's not afraid. I think a lot of people are ashamed for you to know that part of me, Well,
I think it's also part of our conditioning too, because you have to understand, like, church and things of that nature, that's been handed down from decades and eons and eons. So the one thing I always try to tell the youth when I'm talking to them, who told you to do that?
Right.
Well, my mom told me to go to church. Well, who told her to go to church? Well, her mom. Well, okay, so who told her?
Her grandma, big mom.
Why do we do the things that we do?
So my husband and I were just having this conversation. We started watching that Malcolm X special on Netflix.
I have to watch that. I hear it's good. Great.
Dope. Yeah. But even with that, before, we've always started to say, it's time for us to start questioning some of these things that have been handed down.
And not
Malcolm
X,
Martin Luther King, church, politics, the way that we have been doing things as a people because somebody else told us to do it, because somebody else told them to do it. My thought is, do your research before you make your decision. Even if your daddy told you to do it, even if your uncle, your mama told you to do it, do your research and see if what they're saying resonates. Doesn't necessarily mean don't do it, but at least do your research and find out for yourself if it's a compelling reason to move forward in those steps. So,
but critical thinking is
not working.
It's not taught, and it's hard to teach someone critical thinking when they live in a household that aren't full of critical thinkers.
Well, critical thinking should be taught at an early age. So even
whether it's in your home or not, if you don't have a household that agrees or believes that critical thinking is important, then where else are you going to get those critical thinking skills from?
A lot of parents are not teaching their kids to be critical thinkers. A lot of parents are just doing things for their kids, and that's the thing. So now these kids don't. Now you send them out into the world, and they don't know how to think. They're not thinking, and they're like he said. Oh, well, my mama told me to do this, or my daddy told me to do this, or my uncle told me to do this. That's why we're doing it. They're not really thinking.
But
they're
it's
not
also it's also traditionally out of safety.
Right.
We had to think for our children because if we didn't, other people that had wrong intentions for them were going to get them swept up. So we said, okay, just do what I say, because that kept you out of being
But that
killed.
leaves us in a situation now where we're saying people outside of the house always have wrong intentions. We're not even addressing the fact that people in the house sometimes have wrong intentions.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to say this. Let's break it down a little bit further then. How do people see you? How do your parents see you? Mm-hmm. You know, and see
if they see you.
Well, great.
Yeah, I was about to say that's not always a positive thing.
No. That's my point. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes people still see us in a certain light. We have made transformed to become this totally other entity, but in their eyes, they just can't see past this point. My mom says this. My mom's from the South. All my people are from Mississippi. Mom, dad, all that. But my mom says it all the time. Sometimes the problem with the South is they take too long to change. It's hard to change the minds of people who've been conditioned to think a certain way.
Well, I think that's everywhere. I don't think it's just in the South. It's just we deal with that every day. It's hard to, even my profession, we're so used to doing things one way. And this is what you get all the time. Well, this is how we always did it. Nobody wants change. And when you try to bring about change, they resist it because they're this whole thing. Well, this is how we've always done it. Well, and just because we've always done it that way
doesn't mean that there isn't a better way.
There isn't a better way.
Okay, so
well, they are slower. They're still eating fried bologna sandwiches with Velveeta cheese and getting excited about it. I told you about that.
That's a staple for them. You know,
slower.
But okay, but you know what? I will say this as well.
Did you say bologna or just fried bologna?
Fried bologna.
Okay, I'm going to tell you the story really quick.
Making me hungry now.
We were on our way from my grandfather's house in Mississippi on our way to New Orleans, and we passed by a Hardee's. You know, Hardee's is our Carl's Jr. Mm-hmm. So we're passing by, and there was a long line of people and a big old sign talking about it's back. Like the McRib, right? Okay,
like the chicken sandwich.
But it wasn't the McRib. It was a fried bologna sandwich with Velveeta cheese. The biggest sign I have ever seen. I'm going to find that sign. I'm going to put it on my page.
They had a line in Mississippi.
They had a line. They were so excited.
For the bologna sandwich.
Not even 5 years ago. It said, it's back. Okay?
See? And y'all thought that Popeye's chicken was the only one.
With Velveeta cheese. It was advertised with Velveeta cheese, and they were super excited. So, yes, the South, just a little slower.
But we love y'all.
Look, shout out to my sister in Memphis. Shout out to my people in South Haven.
Exactly.
Shout out to my people in Anguilla, Mississippi. Rolling Fork, Mississippi. Greenwood, Greenville. Hattiesburg. Man, Itabena.
I'm a Yankee. I don't know anything about this.
Summerall.
All my people, Natchez, my Aunt Cora, my people down on the coast, Gulfport, all y'all. Love y'all.
Shout out to all my aunties and uncles in the South.
Hi.
Yeah.
All my people in Texas,
Stay off
Georgia.
the
my people's in Arkansas, Little Rock.
Florida.
Shout out to y'all too. Yeah.
Love y'all.
We love you.
Get off
But we need progressive thinking.
We need progressive thinking. We do.
But
so what you saying? You never had a fried bologna sandwich
with Velveeta?
Not with Velveeta.
Oh, you had it without Velveeta.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no,
the kind of cheese that barely melted.
Ladies, one of the hardest things I try to teach people is the hardest thing pretty much the hardest thing in this world to do is to be yourself. That's one of the hardest things to do because people are always trying to conform us to do something else.
Mm-hmm. But once you do it, you become so liberated, you don't know how to be anybody else.
That's why I've been fired from 4 jobs.
Okay, but listen.
How many?
Listen, no. For being you, correct?
Yes. Very much so. A little too much.
No, but you have to think about certain things. It's brought you to where you are now.
Amen.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So,
tell them that.
Well, they don't want to listen to that. You know, it's
And I
like
didn't even get no
Because they don't want
severance.
change.
well, it's the triple stage of darkness.
Ooh, say that for the people in the back, though. What
It's
is
the triple
it?
stage of darkness.
And
Dumb
explain
wild.
that.
That's what they're going to be. Like,
What
it's
is
hard
that?
to conform.
Can I take that?
Yes, you can. Go ahead and take that, man. But I wouldn't cheat you to beat you. I got plenty of them, man.
Okay,
Look,
but the darkness
come
one.
holler at your boy. Come holler at
Oh,
your
yeah,
boy.
I gotta holler at you because
So listen.
I'm thinking about some stuff. I gotta holler at you.
So we're going to tune
She gonna
into
put
the
you
show.
on. She gonna put you on the
But
t-shirt.
I'm going to back up real quick, and I want to
No.
ask
Okay,
you,
yes.
what led you to Phi Beta Sigma?
First of all, why not Phi Beta Sigma? Okay, so you know what? For this question, I'm going to put my jacket on.
Yeah, put your jacket on because if you guys don't know, it's our centennial. Zeta Phi
We're
Beta
still
Sigma
celebrating.
Incorporated. So
Since
we're gonna
they're still
celebrate
celebrating,
the
I'm
whole
putting on my
year. The
jacket.
whole year is gonna be about Zeta
And I don't
Sigma
want
because
you know,
hey, it's what it's
bros
all
to be
about.
mad at me like, man,
So,
why
yeah.
do you rep us? Yes, I'm repping you
Yeah.
all now.
All
Man,
day.
I got
Shout
it
out to
all
Phi
day.
Beta Sigma.
You
My
know.
husband's a Sigma too.
Shout out to your
Jeff.
husband. Shout out to all the husbands that are
took wood
Sigmas.
from a
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
shout out to all the Sigmas. Period. You know, I don't care if you're financial, not financial. It don't matter. Shout out to y'all.
You missed
Nothing.
Okay, see, I missed it.
See, we have multiple ears,
See,
and we,
you know
we
what?
don't miss anything for us. But Jiminy
They
Christmas,
can't take
you
me nowhere.
at all.
So, yeah,
But I made you though, so hey, shout out. Let me give you a high five on that.
No,
What made me join Phi Beta
Lord.
Sigma?
yes, sir.
Okay.
You had options.
I did have options, and we're not going to talk about those options. But yes, I did have options. But two people convinced me to become Sigmas.
Okay.
Bob Booker, shout out to B.O.B.
What's up, Frat?
All right, Frat, B.O.B.
and Bill Flash Gordon, P-Town.
oh, good name.
You know?
Hopefully, he has that on
All
a
right.
jacket somewhere.
No, he doesn't. I tell him all the
He
time,
needs to put
man,
that
you
on
need
a
to
jacket
be
somewhere.
Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
What a lightning.
Yeah.
Right? What his number in the lightning
exactly.
rod?
Yeah.
He can do that for you.
They don't be.
They not ready.
be
They
good.
not
They ain't
ready.
ready.
They ain't ready. Okay.
What was your relationship with the Zetas on campus? Talk to me about
That just took him to a different place.
Yeah, you just took it to a different
Yeah.
place. No, my relationship with the Zetas was pretty cool.
that. Okay.
You know,
As we are.
No, y'all were real cool.
93.
Real cool. My pledge mom, I gotta keep it real. I wasn't as in tune as I should have been. Freddie Taylor, my fault. I'm a bad son. I'm a bad player son. But she's dope. She sings, man. She has her own band. Like, she's dope now. So
Okay.
shout out to her.
She got you right. That's what we do.
He's
That's what
like, I'm here, ain't
family.
I? I'm here.
But no, my relationships with Zetas, period. Not just at Illinois State, Western. Shout out to the Western Zetas, Cookie, Toby, the Eastern Zetas, AG, Tam, all y'all.
How many LBs? What was your line?
There was 4 of us. We started with 4. We ended with 4.
Right
And I am
on.
the anchor Black Caesar.
Hold them down.
SS Shaft. Shout out to my. Shout out to my line.
Thank you.
Shout out to SS
see that?
Shaft.
You see that live that I just
You know what I'm
gave you?
saying? You know,
Okay.
shout out to like Captain Fly, my boy Cav Knight, Deuce Dolomite, Chris Willis, Trey Mack, Eric Myrick, and myself.
Do you guys still keep in touch?
Not as much as we should.
Fix it.
Not as much as we should. But I did run into my Deuce not too long ago. He came to visit LA. I had to tell him that the LA sun costs. You know, he's like, man, I love it out here, Chef. I'm like, it costs money out here. You know,
right.
man. So, like what we're doing, like this
right.
costs money.
It costs money.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So enjoy that French fry.
Right.
Please enjoy
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what?
Yeah.
Take 2.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Back with you.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because this costs money.
Right.
In case you don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it
Like
4
real
more
money.
times
One
while
more
we're
time.
sitting here.
Yeah.
This costs money.
So you
Yeah,
guys keep
but
in
no.
touch. That's good enough.
So, no, like those guys, they introduced me, like Bill and Bob, they introduced me to being a Sigma. I was kicking it with them for like a month until I went to their room. When I went inside their room, I seen all this like blue and white. I'm like,
Am I in heaven?
y'all Sigmas? And they're like,
Am I in heaven?
You know?
Aw.
And then like at the parties, I'll see them strolling around, but you know, you don't think anything of it. You're just like a kid at college, like, yeah, you know, illegal drinking.
What was that like? And before you became I don't know if you're a first generation college student. I don't know if
I'm not a first generation college
Okay.
student, but what was college like for me?
Yeah. And did you leave home? Like, how?
Okay, so how I got to Illinois State, I first started off at a city college in Chicago. I started off at city colleges. left a little early than what I should have. Had I stayed a little, like maybe a semester longer, everything would have been complete, and then my journey would have been totally different. But I'm like, I gotta leave home.
Right.
Mom, I love you, Mom. Just a little too much talking.
You wanted some more freedom. You
yes.
wanted more freedom.
And there were certain schools she was just not letting me go to. Like, I was trying to get to, like, Syracuse University. I was trying to, like, leave. Like, for real. Like, you gotta... You're not in the neighborhood to come see me.
Right. You're not dropping by.
You're not driving by. Mom's like, no, I'm not paying out-of-state fees. You're crazy.
Okay.
So I thought about Southern Illinois, but then I heard about stuff that happens at Southern Illinois around Halloween. They locked the town down because of infamous parties. So that was out. U of I have to tell y'all a story about U of I.
Off camera.
No, I can't tell y'all about that. But Illinois State, I had friends from high school who were going there, and who were there, and that led me there. Once I got to Illinois State, I'm like, okay, Mayberry. This is straight out of Mayberry. This is straight
a little slow for you. Okay.
Man, oh my God! If you're from a big city and you're used to
the hustle and bustle,
and you get here and it's like cornfields and more corn, and there's a bean field over there, so that's not corn, but those are beans. So you have to know the difference.
Well, you learned about agriculture.
Yeah, learned about a lot. Learned about racism.
Right. Okay.
And now Bloomington Normal, it's supposed to be, man, they don't have any racism. Quotes. Okay.
Yeah.
So you are creating, or you're doing, a mental health.
Yes, I am.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? That's my wheelhouse. So I get super interested in the mental health talk. So tell us about the event. We got about
2 minutes.
Yeah. All right, real quick. So basically, Word with Ty Brownlow is just one aspect of what it is I'm trying to build. The next aspect I'm going into is called No Cap. No Cap is my youth segment. And basically, it's all about building mental health in youth. Okay. All right? Finding out what the issues are, how we deal with those issues, and how we go forward. I have something called Life Outfit. Mm-hmm. I can't go too deep into that, but that's what I inspire into the youth to get them ready to take the next step.
Got it.
And I'm having a panel on my show, on my podcast real soon, where I'm going to get together with a whole bunch of people from around the country or whatever, and we're going to talk about mental health in Black and Brown youth.
You know what you should do once you get that up and running, you should reach out to some of the Sigma chapters here, because they have a Sigma Beta club that have youth, and that's something that maybe you guys can partner together, or they can send their boys, to
send them all my way.
Yeah, I think it's Blue Heart Foundation.
Something like that.
They actually travel with they have a huge organization. So they definitely do that.
And they have a lot of the ones out here. They have a really large Sigma Beta group. So
So how can the people keep up with you, contact you, and follow your work?
Okay, so to keep up with me, real simple. Word with Ty Brownlow on YouTube. I have my own YouTube channel. That's Word with Ty Brownlow. I have 60 subscribers. I'm trying to get to 100 before the end of the month. So holler at me, man. I need 40 more. You can also reach me at the same Word with Ty Brownlow on Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook at Ty Brownlow. And I don't have a Twitter account, so I don't tweet. So I'm not.
Don't feel bad. I don't
do I.
So make sure you send all of that to us and put it on the My Morning Coffee page. So if you guys want to keep in touch with him, follow his show, get on his podcast.
Follow me.
Yeah. We'll make sure that we have all that info on our My Morning Coffee page. Sarita, what's up with you? Where can the people find you, follow you, and hit you up?
Find me on Sarita B MFT on Instagram and Facebook. I think it's just Sarita Butler. And I don't really have anything that I'm doing publicly right now. I'm cooking right now. I'm in the lab cooking. So hopefully.
You cooking in the lab?
You're going to be serving something up real cool
soon.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm ready to set lab into the kitchen.
Yes.
This has been a fun experience.
Yeah. You guys can find me. Before you find me, I want to talk about real quick. My Morning Coffee is hosting a beer tasting on February 23rd at Delicious Pizza, 1 to 5 p.m. It's a $15 cost, entry cost to get you in to taste some fabulous beer. We partner with War Cloud Brewing Company. These are some brothers that are brewing beer. So we're trying to bring some beer to y'all in LA because we know y'all drink beer. So we'll have it on our Facebook page. Hopefully we'll see you guys on February 23rd. You can also find me at the Mahogany Box on Facebook and the Mahogany Box on Instagram. And also, we'd like for you guys to follow our page, My Morning Coffee. Follow us, ladies.
Follow them.
We're trying to bring a lot of things to you guys, but we need support. So go like our page and follow our page.
Very good.
That's what's up.
Well, I have a few speaking and teaching opportunities coming up in Cleveland and Colorado.
What?
And I will be doing the...
You need security?
I might need to take you
you
with
may
me.
need security in Cleveland.
So I have some pretty cool stuff going on. So just make sure you stay posted at PR Biz Mom or Sand and Shores on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I tweet. As a matter of fact,
tweets.
I tweet.
She tweets.
I got
I don't know why she hasn't gotten banned from tweeting yet, because she
That's
tweets.
why-
Look, real quick, I was
don't
talking to one of our city council people, and he's a huge Bernie supporter. And, you know, I always have these hashtag Never Bernie posts on Twitter, but I didn't know he was following me. So, Christian, we're going to go ahead and have that coffee, and I'll let you try to convince me. But I was like, ooh, I can't believe you follow Bernie. And he says, I know, I see it on your Twitter. And I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
see?
burn.
Burn. You see what I did there?
So PRBIZ Mom on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that cool stuff. Follow me. We'll have some fun. I'm open to all kinds of conversation. Let me know if you need anything for your social media, your public relations, and definitely go, if you are in the public relations sector, and follow the Black Public Relations Society of Los Angeles. You know, we are where it's at in regards to entertainment and politics and journalism in the Black community in Southern California. So stay posted, and hopefully we'll see you guys in the next couple weeks on another great edition of My Morning Coffee.
See ya.